Boris backs the Florence speech. PM slams Andrew Marr saying cabinet is united on Brexit. Mrs May took no prisoners as she said cabinet was united over its Brexit strategy and denied the foreign secretary was moving against her. Speaking on the Andrew Marr Show, the Prime Minister said the government's Brexit position was absolutely the right one. She said, "What I have is a cabinet that are united in the mission of this government, and that's what you will see this week. United in a mission to build a country that works for everyone and agreed on the approach that we take in Florence. The position that the United Kingdom was taking was absolutely the right one. We're going forward on that basis." Mr. Marr questioned the harmony within cabinet, accusing some ministers of being vultures. He said, "If it's a nest of singing birds, it's a nest with at least one enormous cuckoo and several vultures sitting in it as well. This is a cabinet that is not agreeing on very fundamental questions about Brexit. We have seen Boris Johnson publicly demanding more red lines, saying publicly the Prime Minister must now do this, and by the way, on public sector pay, she must do this. How can you tolerate somebody behaving like that in your cabinet?" But Theresa May was firm as she backed the Foreign Secretary. She said, "Boris is absolutely behind the Florence speech and the line that we have taken." Asked if Mr. Johnson was unsackable, she added viewers were more interested on what the government was going to do for their own jobs. Meanwhile, the European Parliament is plotting to scupper the Brexit talks with a motion demanding that trade negotiations are delayed. In a deeply cynical move, MEPs have put forward the motion apparently aimed at wrecking progress on talks. The debate next week has also been timed to coincide with the Conservative conference, so many British Eurosceptic MEPs will be away to defend the UK's reputation. Tory MEP David Campbell Bannerman, a leading Brexit campaigner, blamed the European Parliament's Brexit negotiator Guy Verhofstadt for the attack. He said, "I have always been convinced that Verhofstadt is a wrecker who wants to wreck the talks, so he can recommend that the European Parliament rejects the final outcome of the talks." He pointed out that the motion was not binding, but was aimed at damaging the reputation of the UK government. The motion says that the European Council should determine that sufficient progress has not been made on the EU's three key aims of safeguarding European Union and UK citizens' rights, clarifying the UK's financial commitments, and resolving the Republic of Ireland's Northern Ireland border. MEPs are then set to back the call for the talks to not progress onto the vital issue of trade, threatening to force the UK to walk out of the discussions and businesses across the EU to be impoverished by a breakdown of trade.